a lazy little lorry, is about to lose his home, so in a race they decide everything, although some competitors are not very honest. So let me tell you, Rally Road Racers recap. This movie starts with some great races, and we find out that a little sloth bear, named Jai, seems to be very excited about this, and wants to become a champion of such races, so he takes his bike and tries to do his best. However, we see that he only causes a big mess, and everyone gets upset, except for one girl who tries to introduce herself, but her grandmother arrives and takes him home. Later, they get to do some relaxing exercises, but she quickly notices that she's getting bored, while Jai lets her know that he's only interested in running. Time passes, we see that Jai grows and does not stop thinking about racing, so he presumes that he will have another race soon, so he goes and starts doing his thing, where we see that he tries hard, but in a curve, he soon goes off out of the way and ends up losing. Then, a boy who sells signs tries to cheer him up, but he seems to get nowhere, so Jai better go home. The next day, we see Grandma make him do her exercises again to lift his spirits, while she sees her grandma manage to catch a bug in mid-flight, so she impresses him. At the same time, they see that some huge machines arrive, which want to demolish the neighborhood, so Jai reassures her grandmother and tells her that she will solve it. So, Jai goes to the manager, the owner of the machines, who is a toad, who tells him that he has a big project where he will build a big muddy city for rich toads, so he will demolish the houses of slow lorries, so that he gives 10 days for them to evict, while he wants to get him out of there. However, Jai notices that he has a poster of a great race that will be, where the frog says that he will participate, and is very sure of winning. So Jai tells him that they can bet, while the frog thinks that he would never lose to him, so which he accepts, and Jai tells him that if he wins he will leave his land alone, while the frog tells him that if she wins, he will have to work for him and use his image to represent his buildings. Later, Jai realizes that the race he entered is very dangerous, since it will last 4 days, and it will be with runners who are not afraid of anything, while his friend Nash tells him that he has a car workshop that could help him. While letting him know that he will train him in the next few days. The next day, he wants to go with his friend, while his grandmother asks him what he's up to, but he doesn't want to tell her the truth, and he just leaves. Afterwards, we see that they start to assemble a car, so soon they have it complete, and Jai starts training, so his friend gives him some advice along the way, so after a few stumbles, it seems that he starts to improve. At the same time, we see that the evil frog realizes that Nash is out there and was a great runner before, so he begins to make his plans. Time passes, we see that the day of the race arrives, where they tell him that the race will cross all of China, and it will last 4 days. So, the runners get ready and soon start the race, where they see the frog do a few tricks and get rid of a few, so Jai and Nash know to watch out for him. Then, Jai realizes that they and the frog take the lead, but Nash makes them stop, since they help a girl, which is the one at the beginning, but we realize that she works for the frog and she is keeping informed. Later, we see that Jai, realizing that they lost time, quickly concentrates and reaches the finish line of the first section, where he is upset since he was in 6th place, while Nash tells him that he did it, because when he is in 1st place he gets nervous, but when he is in places behind, he becomes a great runner and highlights his skills. Later, he runs into the girl, who introduces herself to him as Shelby, while they remember that they both knew each other since they were little, while Jai tells the truth about him, because he is running against the frog. At that moment, Shelby sees that the frog's minions have already arrived, who are looking for Jai, so she better take him away. Then, we see that the henchmen go against Nash, but he knows how to defend himself very well, so a whole disaster happens in the place. At the same time, Jai is talking very calmly with Shelby, but he soon realizes the chaos that is near, so he better go to his friend, where he sees that the minions are also going against him. At that moment, it seems that, thanks to Granny's exercises, it seems that he can watch them in slow motion, and soon manages to beat them, while everyone is happy about this. The next day, the runners get ready. Well, she sees that thanks to the passes he did before, some people are already supporting him. The frog then approaches Shy, who asks if they can raise the ante, where it will be all over the slow Loris area. But if he loses now, he will also have to be his personal snitch, so Shy agrees. At the same time, Shelby imagines that she could be Shy's partner, and they could win the race. At that moment, the race begins, where the frog as always cheats, so he gets the friends in trouble, and they are delayed for a while. Little will the others also seem to have problems and are trapped in the snow, where Shy had to help others, since it is dangerous for them to get stuck there. So, he takes them all out, and they soon finish the race, where they all congratulate Shy, since he saved the others. So the grandmother realizes this and is very proud of her grandson. Returning with Shy, we see that he is giving interviews, where he mentions that he has not been in first place in the stages, but that he is sure that he will win the competition and save his people. At the same time, the frog seems to receive her father, who is upset, since he is betting the family business on his career. Because of this, he lets her know that if he loses the race, he will lose more than just the race, which makes him a little nervous, so he marks Shelby, who he asks to get closer to Shy and find his weak spot. So, she approaches him, and soon they start to spend good times together, where it seems that Shy starts to fall in love with her, while she also seems to feel the same way for him, but she soon remembers that she was sent to affect him, so she decides better get out of there confused. Then, she goes to the frog and tells him that since Shy is one of his own species, he decides not to get involved in his plans. But the frog reminds him that he has cheated his father a long time, and so that he does not stain the honor of his family, she must work for him, so the girl has no choice but to continue with the plan. At the same time, Nash realizes that Shelby is with the frog, but he knows that Shy must not know it, or he will lose concentration in the race. Well, the frog realizes that slow Loris are in love, so he asks him to use it as an advantage. Then the other race begins, where Shy can't stop talking about Shelby, while soon using the nitro at full speed, and manages to reach the finish line first, but his friend tells him to be careful with the nitro or his car. At the same time, Shy sees that Nash knew his mother, and that they were a team in the races, but she did not listen to him, and in a curve she went to the afterlife. At that moment, the car ends in pieces, since they used a lot of nitro, as the two annoying friends part ways. Later, Shy goes with the frog and realizes that Shelby works for him, so he better go. At the same time, Shy's grandmother goes with Nash, who tells him that he should not abandon his grandson, since he is when you need it most. Then, Shy is told that another of the competitors, who is a seahorse, seems to have his children, so everyone is happy, while trying to motivate Shy to come back to the race. At the same time, he arrives. Shelby, who confesses the truth, but that she fell in love with him and wanted to leave the organization, but the frog did not allow it, also lets him know that she is in love with him, so Shy is motivated, and Shelby lends him a car. Shy then apologizes to Nash, where he sees that his grandmother convinced him to come back. Shortly after, we see that the race begins, where the frog continues with his traps and does not stop throwing things at the others, while Shy strives and tries to catch up with him, but the evil one makes him stay behind and knocks down part of the road. So, everyone seems lost, but this one concentrates like he did in Grandma's exercises, so he sees things in slow motion, and manages to get back on track, so after maneuvering for a while, he manages to reach the finish line first place. Thanks to this, the frog has no other choice and gives him the papers for the sloth's land, for which everyone is happy. And if you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to continue receiving videos like this. Have a great day.